Okay.
Premium service.
Making me do all the work here.
Yeah, seriously.
Okay.
All right. Ready to rock and roll? Got our wires? Well, don't worry. We'll upgrade the studio setup at some point soon. So definitely rock and roll. How's it going?
Good.
Good. Not too bad.
Yeah.
Nano, how you doing? This is basically 2 sessions. 2 sessions with Marisa in one day.
You've seen me twice today.
Yeah. Not too bad, huh? So we got some bugs out here too, so it's nice. So
It's a party.
seriously. So, all right, what's going on, everybody? Here for another episode of Deadlifts, Dogs, and Dad Jokes. So I'm your host, DeMarco. We've got other hosts, Marisa and Nano here, and we are excited. We're going to talk about pull-ups. We're going to talk about mental health strategies, which that's just a great topic all on its own. But for some reason, I felt like the two needed to be together. I don't know why. I just was... and there's a lot of carryover between the two, which we'll definitely get into. So very pumped about that. So this is also take 2 of the pull-up podcast.
Yeah.
We tried to have Vivi as a co-host, and that didn't exactly work out the way we had hoped. So a little fussy, and we had to shut her down.
She's frustrated, man.
It's all
Pull-ups
good.
are hard.
She was frustrated. She wanted to stop talking about them. She wanted to go and do them.
Yeah.
She was ready to go practice her.
Can you blame her?
Practice her hollow hangs. So seriously. So yeah, we can kind of start off. We can obviously talk about you and your awesome success with pull-ups. Obviously, one of our goals. Why don't you kind of give them the Cliff Notes version of your pull-up journey?
Yeah, I don't even know what I would say the Cliff Notes version of that is. Like, I couldn't do any before. Now I can do a couple.
Yeah.
I mean, just like with everything too. Like, I don't know how I would exactly pinpoint like the timeline of how long it took us.
Yeah.
But definitely there were some good progressions. And then I went from like 0 to a couple, I feel like, pretty quickly.
You did.
Because
yeah.
I feel like the first one is the hardest, which I'm sure
the first one,
talk
yeah.
about. The first one was the hardest because it's like the mental, like getting the first one.
Yeah.
And then the other ones kind of came pretty quickly after that, I feel like.
Yeah.
It seemed like it to me anyway.
No, absolutely, and that is that's one of the main pieces I was going to talk about as well. Is that the first one mentally is it's such a huge wall to get over, and mentally going from 0 to 1 is very stressful, very intimidating initially. But then when you get to 1, then you go from being able to do none to being able to do 1, and then the thought of, I can do a second, and then eventually a third, fourth, and beyond. It's not as daunting. And you're right. It's just there's a mental switch that flips, a physical switch. Obviously, when you can do 1, you've developed a very significant amount of strength and balance and grip strength and bodily awareness, and it's a skill. There is a lot of skill to it. It's not just brute strength, just gripping and ripping on the bar. So Nano's very passionate about
All you
pull-ups
gotta do is
as well.
give eye contact. And she comes right over.
What a great co-host. So yeah, that's so how did it feel when you got your first full rep? Like, what was that? Like, how did that feel for you?
Like an accomplishment. It was kind of like, I feel like the first one I was like, didn't expect to get it when the day that it actually like fully happened. I was like, whoa, like, okay. Yeah. It's like a surprise. So.
Absolutely.
But yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, I was pretty confident you were going to hit it that day, but I also there's always a little bit of doubt whenever you do anything.
Yeah,
that's totally normal with any kind
Even
of
if you know
endeavor.
you can do it, sometimes I'm just like, today's not the day.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Yeah. And we, it took time. That's one of the big pieces there is it was patience. We took our time and we trained it step by step. We took our time, which we'll get into in a moment, but we really just we crawled, then we walked, then we jogged, then we ran, and then we eventually flew, if you will. So we definitely took our time, and I think it was about when we dedicated the training, because we had been training for quite a while before we really started training for the pull-ups, because we had emphasized other like the push-ups and focused on other lifts. But I think about 6 months of really specialized, consistent training, and that you were able to hit that first good full rep. And then after that, it was just the dominoes started falling, and then you obviously hit your 7. I'm going to give you credit for the half, 7.5.
Yeah.
And those were palms facing in, right? Or was it just the handle, the parallel? Don't remember. That's okay.
Yeah, I think.
Don't remember either.
I think it was.
Still counts. I mean, it doesn't.
This way.
It doesn't matter. Yeah.
If I had to.
So, but it was good. Yeah, definitely took the time, and we really emphasized. So, just to let all of you know, kind of the Cliff Notes version of the progressions and what we did. The number one thing I wanted to emphasize with Marisa, I guess the number one thing is just confidence, just building confidence, starting at a certain level that was appropriate for her body and her mind at that time, and then gradually progressed as she got stronger. So when she got stronger, we started adding more volume, more weight, so. Building grip strength was obviously key. The kettlebells helped a lot with that.
Yeah.
Farmers carries, farmers walks, we were doing the rows, and all that good stuff. We didn't do much arm work. It wasn't a lot of direct arm work. So
it was like the stuff that we were doing on the pull-up bar, and then like other than that, it wasn't like it's like other stuff like grip things, like you said.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was all just with the kettlebell stuff, with the deadlifts and all the other movements. It's all full body, very tension emphasis, and just focusing on just getting really tight and using that whole body. To quote Jen, me, and Murphy, who we've had on the show and who I learned a lot of techniques from and applied it to your training as well as mine and my other clients, is emphasizing that total body tension, hollowing out. A lot of people get on the bar and they just kind of hang. There's just that kind of hang. They just kind of start pulling just with the arms. The legs are dangling. The whole body's kind of shaking, like a fish out of the water. One of the things that really helped for both of us, my training as well, is hollowing out on the pull-up bar. And it's just a matter of getting up there, and you're really turning the body into one single unit. So when we're in that dead hang, the shoulders are up here, up by the ears. So we're going to pull the shoulders into the sockets, emphasizing and engaging the lats. Obviously, your grip's going to be tight because you don't want to fall, but you still squeeze the bar and pulling the hips in and squeezing those abs, and essentially what we call hollowing out. So squeezing the quads, getting those legs extended out, and getting into a nice, good, tight position, then engaging the pull there. But we spent a lot of time just hanging, which built the grip strength, built the core strength, and then we gradually got into the, obviously, actual pull-ups after that.
Yeah. Especially too because my elbows, we couldn't do like I think we had maybe started trying to do like the flexed arm hangs, but then had to adapt.
Yeah, and for most people, I do like the flexed arm hang, but your elbows were definitely not a.
It's definitely good. I like it because I can do it for. Even then, I feel like I can do it, but then afterwards, just from being in that like really tense, like fully bent position, just my elbows, man.
Oh, absolutely.
Don't like it, as we now know.
No. It was and that was just a modification we made, obviously based on kind of how your body was reacting to the training and responding. So I knew we were on the right track, and I knew we were close when. And this was at home. This was you had done some at home, and you had discovered that you could do some from that shortened range of motion, and that was when I knew we were definitely on the right path, because you could start a full range of motion rep. Obviously, we're fully extended at the elbows, and then going up and then down from there. But you were starting from about here, and you could pull yourself all the way up and then come all the way down in a controlled manner.
Definitely, it was the bottom that was the hardest.
Yeah, when you hit that, I knew we were close. And it was just a matter of time. So we built up volume there, doing those partial range of motion reps, doing the slow negatives, doing the hangs, really hitting those weighted hollow body holds. Again, the kettlebell training, that was just a lot of grip already. So that was a cool way to build it in there. And just time and practicing the reps. So when you hit your first full pull-up, I was fired up.
Yeah.
I was fired. I was like beating my chest. Like I wasn't actually beating my chest. Or maybe I was. I don't know.
That's just a good example, I feel like, of our personality. So I'm always just like, oh yeah.
You're like, oh, that's cool. Yeah.
It's cool. And you're like, yeah.
Yeah, you're like, oh, that's cool. Yeah, sounds good. Let's get to 2 next time. So, which is great. I always, that's why I think we have such a good dynamic with coaching. Is I'm the one that's like, all right, we're gonna do all this really cool stuff, and we're gonna have some fun, and we're gonna do really cool stuff, and I'm really excited. And you're like, okay, yeah, sounds good.
Yeah,
whatever.
Sure.
So, which is good, because I get like really fired up and animated when I do this stuff, and everyone's approach is different, which is good. So And it's funny because once you hit that first rep, it's after that it's like, all right, let's try for 2. When we get to 2 full reps, and then we start adding volume there, and then or multiple sets of 1, and then slowly add the volume there.
Yeah.
So I will say, if you really want to, if hitting a pull-up is one of your goals, number 1, learn that hollow body hold position. So get on the floor, you can extend the arms and legs out and bring your rib cage up towards the ceiling and press that lower back into the floor. So really squeeze those abs really, really tight. So you're not sucking your stomach in. It's not like that vacuum pose that the bodybuilders would, do in order to really, really emphasize like the abs as well as the chest, and that it's for physique purposes. You're gonna just squeeze your abs really, really tight. So I know I use this all the time. Brace like someone's gonna hit you. So just a certain someone, famous boxer. I'm not gonna say his name because I always do.
Flex. It's a good
but
way
flex, exactly. Establish that position. Get to where you can hold that position for a good 30 plus seconds on the floor. Then get up on the bar. And get to where you can hollow out, get really, really tight, and feel your whole body working. So your grip, your lats when you're pulling those shoulders down, abs, squeeze those quads, turn your body into one muscle. And when Marisa started doing that, the pull-ups changed, completely. So it was a game changer. Swinging a lot less.
For sure.
And just a lot more stable.
Yeah, more stable.
So.
More powerful.
What stuck out to you over that year that we really focused on pull-ups that really you think helped with your progress? If anything.
I think, honestly, just kind of, even when we were just doing just hanging from the bar.
Yep.
Just kind of getting used to being on the bar and in that position. Mm-hmm. Having kind of not even, sort of the muscle memory, but not even, just because you're not even doing the full motion, just getting comfortable in that position, especially for me, because the bottom is the hard, more difficult part, I feel
Definitely.
Of the position for me.
Yep.
So just kind of even just as if you're about to do it, and just kind of being really tense
mm-hmm.
in the just hanging position, I feel it's probably the most helpful for me.
Yeah.
I think. And then just the other thing is the shoulder mobility aspect of it, of
big
being
time.
in that position.
Big time.
That helped with that, because when we first started doing them, I remember being oh man, my shoulders, I'm tired in this position.
Yeah.
So kind of just getting acclimated to that location on the bars.
Absolutely.
Simple stuff, but.
Yeah. No, it's funny how when you're in the gym regularly, we take a lot for granted. Now, it's all, I say granted. For granted, we earn the right to do movements. I don't want, not to make that sound that sounds like arrogance, but when you build up a certain level of strength and mobility, you can do harder things, right? Or you can do a certain movement with more weight. Not that I don't mean for that to sound elitist, by the way, but it's just true. When the more time you spend, you can do more of the advanced stuff, which is usually the fundamentals, just tougher variations and more weight. So we're still doing basics. But for a lot of people that work behind a desk or spend a lot of time driving, they tend to be really tight in those shoulders and upper back and pecs. So getting into that overhead position for a lot of them is very tricky. For a lot of people, it causes pain. Yeah. And we have to, for those folks, we have to, before we even get you on the bar, we've got to emphasize that building that shoulder external rotation, mobility, and obviously all those T-spine opener drills that we've been doing for what feels like probably 10,000 years.
For sure.
But they work.
They do.
But they definitely work. So if you reach up and experience pain, try that stuff. But I will say, at the end of the day, if it's chronic, go see a professional, go see a physical therapist, doctor, and go see a professional. So whenever anything is hurting, your body, but still, just So just a little caveat there. I'm not a doctor. Sure. In regards to the bottom position, that's where everybody goes, oh shit, there's that mental block where you're oh crap, I don't know what to do, this is really hard. And a lot of people kind of flash gym class and the pull-up / flex arm hang, and when all the class is watching you and people freeze up and get nervous. You said it best. Spend time up on the bar and in that bottom position, get comfortable with it, and almost desensitize yourself to the fear of being in that bottom position, and it won't be as scary anymore. So
it's even just kind of the same concept as when the gym in general was like kind of like stressful just going into the gym.
Oh, yeah.
Period. If I would just like go in there and like pretend like I don't know what I would be doing, but just being like in the environment and like kind of observing what's going on, you just get used to being there.
Yeah.
It makes you more comfortable. Same thing in my mind kind of applied to the like doing a pull-up on the barbell.
Absolutely.
Not the barbell.
Yeah.
I mean, with the barbell too, but on the
I know what you mean.
pull-up bar.
Yeah. No, I got you.
Yeah.
No, definitely. Yeah, and you know, the cool thing is you can learn from watching other people. You know what I mean? There's, you know, having a coach is cool and all, but sometimes even me being, you know, in the gym for the last 20 something years, or almost 20 years, not quite that old, but I still learn stuff watching videos on Instagram and seeing people in the gym and go, oh, that's a cool variation. That's a nice little way to kind of tweak it. One of the game changers for you that we did was the commando pull-up. When we did those kind of mixed grip. And I got to give a shout out to Maggie Burrows I believe she's out of Montana. She was one of the team leaders at my Strong First Kettlebell certification. And she was the one who, well, hello. She got me into the mixed grip or the commando grip pull-up. And that was really cool because that enabled us to kind of get into them a little bit sooner and build up volume and then gradually transition over into that palms facing out, more challenging variation there. So there's someone driving around. So
it's great audio.
Love the background noise. It'll be good. So it's waking everybody up. So, but that's a good segue into, we had one question. We have one person who had a question from our Instagram story thing. It was Randall, one of my other clients, and he was asking, what is better? Do I prefer palms facing in or palms facing out? And I'm going to give you the boring answer really quick. It depends, and I actually like them both, but I'm going to go into the nuance and the differences between them. So I'll ask you, though. Let's ask you first. What's your preference between the two, and why?
I think it depends. I like...
It depends, the end.
I mean, it does depend. I guess this way is easier. So I obviously like it because I can do them better.
Right.
It's easier. But I think for the same reason, I think I like this one, like palms out more because it's like more of a reward, like not more rewarding, more of like a achievement. It's a little harder, so I'm like, yeah. So it's a little more fun. This one, I feel like, which I think might be the opposite for you. I feel like you said this way hurts your wrists, maybe. This feels just like in general more comfortable. I think because my shoulders maybe like being in this position is a little more awkward for me than being this way.
Makes
this
sense.
way is easier and is a little bit more comfortable, I think, just in general.
Oh yeah.
But I like the real pull-up grip because it's more challenging, so it's more fun to do them.
Absolutely. No, that's a great answer, and I agree with that 100%. My wrists are funky. I need to be doing more mobility and just probably more soft tissue work on God knows what probably my forearms and my lats and everything. Yeah, so for me, that palm facing in, it feels a little funky on my elbow. So just because of that reason, I don't personally like to do the palms facing in as much. I do like that slightly, like the handle, the angled handles, I will go a little bit in. So like that's kind of my sweet spot where I can really, same as you, I can crank out a lot more reps. I really like the palms facing in because it's just a killer bicep workout. It's just a lot of fun. You can get some pull-ups in, you get a really good arm workout in, and it's just, you feel pretty badass when you get off the bar. You're like, yeah, my biceps are feeling good.
Yeah, you can do them.
Good stuff. Because of that, however, the only thing that I don't like is to the untrained and inexperienced lifter, it can become just a bicep workout. So, and I'm not picking on you, Randall. I'm not calling you out. Don't worry. I see this all the time. A lot of guys, in particular, that bodybuilder emphasis, they want to focus on hypertrophy of the biceps. They'll just do a bunch of really those kind of partial range of motion reps, and they're not getting that full extension of the bottom and that lat activation, and not getting as much core either. And it's just they're not using that full body.
Right.
It's just basically a body weight bicep curl, if you will, and that's cool. And it all depends on what your goals are. If you're looking for that full body strength the kind of that universal strength, if you will, that full extension, full range of motion is going to be better. The palms facing out, I have found, forces you to do that more. I mean, you can still do the partial range of motion, but with the position of the hands, it really forces you to use your whole body, as far as, from my experience at least.
Yeah, I think this way too, I feel like, I mean, I guess it's both. It depends on how far apart your hands are.
Definitely.
Because if you could definitely isolate a certain muscle if you put them in the right place. But
oh, absolutely.
Like the same thing here, I guess. If you, depending on how you place your hands, this way, you could engage a different individual muscle. But
no, definitely. Yeah, no, the activation patterns do change. That's very, very true. And so there's a lot of coaches love to use the word functional, and they talk about functional fitness. And honestly, whenever I hear it, I just want to jam a screwdriver through my eyeball, because it's such an overused fitness term. However, my definition of functional, a lot of coaches agree with me, but the definition of functional in regards to an exercise is, does this movement carry over to a life activity, an activity in daily life, or just in life period? So the palms facing out pull-up, a lot of coaches refer to it as the tactical pull-up. So, and you can imagine there's an immediate, most people understand why immediately. When palm facing out, if you were scaling a wall or trying to climb a tree, you're probably not going to bring your palms in to do so, because you want your hands here so you can grip and grasp and aid you in climbing something. So that's the cool advantage there. It carries over to climbing and scaling, surfaces. I don't do much of that, but for your Ninja Warrior, American Ninja Warrior training, we'll do that. So. So, but I do love both, and as long as we can do it pain-free, great variation. The big thing I'll say is just get that full range of motion, hollow out, and really use your whole body to get you up, not just your biceps. So, boom.
Yeah, they're all good, so.
Or, simply put, it depends. So, but no, I love palms out, palms in, that switch, that mixed grip. I think the mixed grip's really underrated because it carries over into that mixed grip deadlift. So I think that's a really cool way to work in.
True.
So work in some of that bicep work and get you ready for heavy mixed grip deadlifting. So, which we can talk about for a future episode. Well, good stuff. Any more pull up? You got any tips? Any pull up stuff? Anything you think of?
Not really. I mean, the only other unusual thing we did was during the shutdown, the pull-ups on the a different grip handle.
Yeah.
I feel like impacts too.
You want to talk about just
you want to make things a little bit more difficult than you need to, just grab not a regular old pull-up bar.
Yeah, seriously.
You have beams, different thicknesses, because the pull-up bar on the bike path, that's more challenging.
That's a thick bar. That's tough.
Than a regular.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the only other.
It's an awkward bar to train on. It's good. I mean, it's good. It's going to make a normal regular gym bar even easier. But that's a great tip and pointer. Use different. There's a lot out in the environment can be a pull-up bar if you're a little bit creative. That's one thing I definitely learned, particularly from the Wow, that was what the hell that was.
Close call.
Particularly from the shutdown when you just didn't have options. Sean and I, one of our first workouts we did together, we were just kind of going ham because we just had nothing but time. We were both unemployed. We jumped up onto a tree branch and did pull-ups on the tree branch, and it was kind of funky. The way it was angled, one arm was a little bit higher, so we would switch sides, and very Tarzan-esque, and it was fun. So it was we had a good time. So yeah, anything's a pull-up bar if you're determined enough.
For sure.
I think one more thing, and then we can move on to the next kind of piece for today. One thing that really, I think, was a game changer, I know I mentioned it, but I really want to harp on it, is those partial range of motion pull-ups. Working within the range of motion that you can do, setting up that box a little bit higher. That way we can start from here. I think even initially we started here, and then we gradually kind of worked our way down, and it was starting off with a little bit of a jump, a little bit of a push off or a kick off with your feet, and then just less
a little assistance,
and less and less and less, and it just gradually got there.
Yeah, basically starting with where I could keep my feet kind of on the ground or on a box or something, but not fully just standing up, kind of adding reducing how much I was using my legs was you're right. That definitely did help.
Yeah. We definitely, with you, there was a bit of an experiment because you and I, initially, we did the resistance band assisted pull-ups, and I scrapped those because I wanted to test a kind of different method and emphasize the hangs, the partial range of motion reps, the negatives for a short time, the flexed arm hang. I don't know if I'm ever going to use a band assisted pull-up again.
Yeah, that's why I was actually just going to say that now that you mentioned it. I feel like the way that we did it, where I was kind of just like using my own legs, it makes it so you can, I mean, as long as you're not like being lazy, like use more than you need to. But with the bands, I feel like you can't really control, like you can control which like thickness or like which like level of the band you use. But like once you're on it, you can't really like you can't like scale it based on like the one thing. But with the way we were doing it, where you're kind of relying on like your legs to sort of help a little bit, you can like decide how much of your legs you're going to use. Like I could still have my feet touching and not use them, but that's absolutely the purpose. But I feel like having that ability to like make the tiniest adjustments in assistance is helpful.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, because we started, again, you were kind of like slightly jumping and then using both legs, like kind of planted like a mini squat jump. And then it turned into almost like a mini calf raise, kind of a little bit of a boost, and then just one leg, and then eventually nothing. So yeah, I'm not going to say I'm anti-resistance band assisted pull-ups, but I think that's an overused training modality that I used for years, by the way. I'm not trying to sound like I'm elite or anything. That's just kind of from the last couple of years of training, one experience that I've kind of gained from the training, because you don't always have a resistance band. So it's good to be ready for that minimalist approach if you just don't have a lot. If you're in a busy gym, someone's on a machine, someone's using the band or whatever, you can't find it. People lose the bands all the time, you know. You know what I mean? They end up in someone's bag, things happen. So it happens all the time. But yeah, I think that was one change that we made that helped. And it was good. So, and now I just want to be honest. I do think it's a good training tool for certain cases. So it depends.
Yeah, it depends. I think our answers to everything is it depends.
Yeah. So definitely. I will say, if anybody does have any more questions about pull-ups or about some of those drills, feel free to comment below. Let us know. Hit us up on the Instagram page, and we can definitely go more in depth. I think one of these days we can do a video. Like a demo video, and go into the drills that we did and have some fun there and kind of show people the progression. Yeah. So show them how the pro does it. They don't want to see me do it. No one cares.
Oh yeah, my big following.
Yeah, having a dog in your session is definitely a performance enhancer, by the way.
For sure.
Definitely, even though she doesn't look at us and she basically just naps during the entire session, having a dog in your training session is a total game changer. So. Creates a very anabolic atmosphere.
That's awesome, yeah.
So it's definitely perfect. All right, so next and final topic. So mental health. So something I have talked about a couple times on the show, kind of mentioned it here and there, and I've posted about it a couple of times. And it's a conversation I'm starting to try to have more with people, because I think I'm a trainer, I'm a coach, I love working out, and the physicality of strength and fitness are very important to me. But the psychological aspect and the mental aspect have become more important to me, particularly as I've gotten older and hopefully a little wiser in some ways. And priorities have shifted, particularly over the last year, obviously. I have two daughters to take care of now, so they're both on all fours right now, but in the near future, only one of them will be on all fours.
You better watch out.
So in big trouble. So yeah, that's basically we got the Delta variant right now, so things are kind of scary, but still, like, a lot of people are vaccinated in Massachusetts, so I would say overall, like, we're not doing terribly, right? We're fingers crossed. Baker keeps us open, and we do whatever we need to do to kind of keep the businesses going. But it feels as if maybe we're on our way out of this crazy time.
Hopefully.
So I'm going to just turn it over to you.
Okay.
No pressure. No pressure, seriously. There's no wrong answer here. What are your strategies for enhancing your mental health, like dealing with the stresses of life, the pandemic, and whatever crazy stuff life throws at you?
I don't know.
Training? Yeah.
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 Honestly, is probably what my main answer would be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Training with DeMarco, obviously.
Training with Nano.
Training with Nano, yes. Having a dog in your session.
Yeah, training and like, I don't know.
It's good.
I guess.
It's a good answer. I mean, it's not a bad answer.
Know.
Yeah.
I don't get that stressed.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I do, but like, not really.
That's good. That's good.
I don't know.
Not a bad answer. Wow, there we go. Train. That's it.
Sorry,
Boom.
boring answer.
No. No,
Train.
it's okay. No, nothing wrong. No, that's my number one outlet for my own mental health and well-being is training. So I 100%, 1000% agree with that answer. I have, so I've never been officially diagnosed with ADHD, but a lot of people have said, dude, like you got something. You definitely have some kind of ADD or whatever. And Lauren's actually encouraging me to go get screened for it. So, which I think is funny because I'm like a 30-year-old adult, and it's like I'm gonna go get screened for it. So it'll be fun. So you never know. But so I'm definitely scatterbrained, forgetful, maybe sometimes, energetic, a little maybe disorganized sometimes, filled with random facts about superheroes.
Yeah, that last one, big time.
Maybe a little scatterbrained. But no, Lauren mentioned the other day, she said, I know working out's really important to you, and I corrected her in a nice way. I said, no, training is essential to me. If I don't move my body and exert some of this energy, work some of this energy off, there's no telling what I'll get into. It's just, I always joke that it's like I have the itch, just energy, just kind of restless energy, and I have to do something with it. If anyone's ever seen the show Dexter, you ever seen Dexter?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he talks about like his dark passenger. I'm not saying I have that kind of craving.
Where are we going here?
Whoa, dark. We're going somewhere dark here. But no, he talks about how he has his dark passenger, and he has to fulfill his craving to kill people. That's not me, obviously. I'm not. Nano's like, what the heck? Where the hell is that? Run now, run! No, but I have this restless energy, and if I don't train, I will turn to other means in order to satisfy myself. Makes it sound weird, but in order to pacify myself, if you will. Alcohol. I was a pack-a-day smoker for a long time, which I think I told you before. Yeah, so just don't ever start, please.
Smoking's bad.
Terrible. Yeah. So, but hey, it is what it is, and I was able to quit and smoke free for a long time now, which is awesome.
Congrats.
Training, thank you. Training for me is imperative to just coping with the stresses of life, particularly being a dad now. It's fun, but it's also exhausting. It's a challenge, and it's a fun adventure. And I talk to so many dads and dads and moms that say, man, it's so hard to get my workout in. I'm exhausted. There's just not enough time in the day, and I get it. Trust me, I totally understand. I understand all of those reasons why it makes it more challenging. But for me, I want to be physically strong. I want to be mentally strong. I want to be a good and present parent in Vivi's life. So Vivi having a baby and being a dad makes it even more important for me to train. So there's even though it's harder, there's that it's kind of an interesting thing where it's even more important for me to do it because it's so hard, and so it's kind of one of those things. So it keeps my mind from drifting off into the dark place. So speaking of which, I'll show you out back where I have the burial site.
See ya.
No, I'm totally kidding. Get the hockey mask out.
Oh, we are out back.
I'm just joking. We are out back. Oh shoot! No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. So for me, training, honestly, having a dog is awesome. I love Nano. At some point, we're going to train her to be a therapy dog, but she's already my therapy dog. She's super sweet.
She's very chill.
Whenever I'm stressed or anxious, she always comes over, puts her paw on me. It's good. It's very, very reassuring. So she's a good girl. She probably just wants food, but you know, I'll anthropomorphize and say that she's trying to make me feel better. It's fine. So, but yeah, no, training, and I'm very spoiled because I love my job. I think it's really cool and really fun. I get to choose when I want to work and whom I want to work with, which is for the most part. When you're first starting out, you gotta get on your grind and work at the gym and do your thing. You know, I'm fortunate now; I have an established client base, and but my interactions with you and my other clients are uplifting. You know, we're talking about goal setting. We're talking about things that we want to do. It's all very positive, enlightening, uplifting conversations for the most part. You know, we all rant from time to time and you need to vent, but you know, that's another piece is my social interactions overall are very positive. I'm around very positive, upbeat, you know, independent, very hardworking people, and you know, the old expression, iron sharpens iron. You know, the cream rises to the top and all those stupid platitudes. But seriously, being more selective with the people I spend my time with is also another piece of how I'm able to kind of enhance my mental health and keep me in a good mental frame of mind. Yeah.
Yeah. That's
so
true. Oh,
that's good.
I second that.
You second that. There we go.
Yeah,
there we go.
for
That's
sure.
another thing.
People
So.
around you definitely impact you.
No, absolutely. And it's, I mean, everything, these are the boring answers, but they're all true. Like train, you know, move your body, you know, be around people that give more than they take. I mean, life is give take for sure. There is a transactional nature to a lot of our interactions, and I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, as long as it's coming from a place of empathy and everyone's on equal footing.
Yeah, just people who have like the same kind of like view on things. Like
Yeah.
So like, you know, you kind of are all on the same page about like what you like want to be doing.
Exactly.
Thing.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, people who support you.
Of course, exactly.
Rather
No.
than like compete with you to like get what they want.
Yeah. Well, if I tried to compete with you, I would get owned. So I'm not going to try.
Oh my god.
So, but no, I agree with you. Yeah, definitely from a like leading with empathy and embracing it like a team. So whenever I look at this beautiful dog, I just forget about what I'm even talking about. So you know, lay down over there. The other thing that really helped me, honestly, and this isn't a cry for help, not going to make it sound crazy, is drastically reducing my alcohol intake. I, like a lot of people, got very stressed out during the shutdown pandemic. Found myself, you know, going to the breweries a lot. It was just, you know, you just have so much time. You can only work out so much. You know, I was working out like 2 hours a day, and pre-baby, a lot of free time. Lauren's has always been working crazy hours, and, you know, I found myself not binge drinking, but definitely regularly consuming alcohol on more of a regular basis, and having beers in the fridge and doing that classic, like, come home from work, quote unquote, have a couple of beers to unwind and all that stuff. And I noticed that it became habitual, and like everything else in life does, you know, you start doing it without thinking about it. You get into that habit loop, and it's with certain things it's very good. With training and moving your body and drinking your water, eating your fruits and veggies, it's good. You know, with something like alcohol that quite literally is a toxin, it is poisonous.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, it's not good for you. I would argue the social aspect is beneficial in healthy doses, but it takes away from your performance. It definitely affects your sleep. And I have reached a point in my life where it kind of just takes more than it really gives. You know, I'm in my 30s. I'm not going to parties anymore, really. I don't go out. You know, I don't know, I'm just kind of removed from that, you know, I was never really part of that scene anyway, but it's definitely, you know, it's much less important in my life. And heavily cut back on beer, and my sleep has gotten better. You know, my training's gotten better, and it's just, I definitely noticed, even after a couple, the next day I have like a headache, and I just don't feel good. And it's kind of sad. Like, I remember, you know, back in my early 20s when, like, you know, 3 or 4 beers was like, oh, dude, are you kidding me? That's a warm-up. Let's what are we talking about here?
Yeah. It's interesting. But it's, like, definitely, like, basically how everything impacts each other. So, like,
yeah,
you make, like, one small change, it just makes it easier to kind of improve everything. Because it's just, like, how, like, one small thing, even just, like, cutting back a little bit on alcohol, you sleep better, so the next day you feel better, you train, you fit in more things in the day, so it just kind of, it's like a snowball effect. You make like one strategic choice, and then everything else is just easier.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, and let's be honest, you know, on my, again, it's going to make it sound really bad. I want to make this sound like a cry for help. But like let's say on like the Friday or Thursday afternoon when I go to the brewery to meet up with my friends, you know, you go, you drink the beer, you hang out. You're not drinking a lot of water, especially if it's in walking distance because you're not worried about driving.
Yeah.
And you get really dehydrated. So just by default of not drinking as much alcohol, I'm already drinking more water. You know what I mean? I'm drinking more water, a lot more coffee too, but that's okay. Coffee is life. So, but yeah, I'm more hydrated. My training is better. My sleep is better, and my mood's better. I just, you feel better when the engines are clear.
Firing all cylinders.
Firing all cylinders. So that's definitely been a big piece, and you actually inspired me to do that, by the way. So you did. Yeah.
Well, cool.
You did. Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah, I think that's a lot of coaches would be nervous to admit that, but I definitely am inspired by you and my other clients when I see you all work through, challenges, overcoming obstacles, coming to a gym space where most of you don't feel comfortable initially, and going through all that the fun growing pains and making crazy progress.
Yeah.
So.
Cool.
But yeah, my two main beverages now are pretty much just water and coffee. I put Crystal Light in my water sometimes though, and it's so good. 5 calories. God, science is amazing.
Too sweet.
Too sweet for you? Yeah, I hear you.
Water and coffee.
Water and coffee. I'm just not as intense as you. Okay, all right.
I'm just too hardcore.
You're hardcore. You're Navy SEAL material. You're you're definitely. I could see you like just kicking ass like as a SEAL or like a Green Beret. So.
Sure.
Yeah, sure, whatever.
Why not?
Yeah. We'll write the screenplay for the Marisa Brogna files. So.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So I guess sum it all up, and to bring it full circle, your confidence enhanced when you got to be able to do more stuff in the gym, and we started reaching your fitness and health goals. So it becomes this really cool loop, which is good. This positive loop where your nutrition's better, your hydration's better, your lifestyle choices are better, your training is better, you're performing better in the gym. That success fuels you're like, oh man, I want to go even harder. I want to do, I want to get to 3 reps. I want to get to 4 reps. I want to get to 5 reps.
It's definitely a cycle.
Yeah, exactly.
Everything impacts each other.
That's it.
So.
Yeah. And the other way can happen too. If you fall on hard times, you go through a setback in life, and you can get depressed or just upset. That's normal too. I feel like everyone goes through.
But I feel like another
cycles.
good reason. I'm trying to think of a better word, but another good thing, like having the routine when something like that happens where you have some sort of tough thing, having the routine that you're in.
Oh, absolutely.
Can help you stay sort of from going down that other spiraling, developing some sort of depressed or just spiral, going in a different direction, kind of keeping you on course if you have some sort of routine. Because sometimes you're I don't want to work out or whatever, but once I've done it, I definitely feel better.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're tired. You're like, ugh.
Yeah. I have never once, even if I got hurt, we've all had training sessions where we've gotten hurt. Even on those days, I've never regretted training. Yeah. I've never, when I'm done, even if it was really hard, I even more proud of the fact that I did it. If I wasn't feeling as good that day, or I pushed through and just got the work done, particularly being exhausted from taking care of Vivi, and just doing stuff, I'm even more proud of the accomplishment because of how hard it was. So, I guess to sum it all up, find a goal, a performance-based goal that you want to do, train hard as hell for it, hire a coach, or, find good resources online, train your ass off, reach that goal, and go beyond that. If with whatever's in your physical and mental capabilities,
small.
Drink more water, drink less booze, be around cool kick-ass people, and get a freaking dog.
You don't have to do it all at once.
Yeah, not all at once. Yeah, maybe one at a time.
Yeah.
Or just skip it all and get the dog. So
Fair
that's
point.
definitely good. So anything else to add? We're getting eat up by these bugs out here.
I think that's it.
It's pretty good. Curls every day, and you will end up with Olympian biceps like Marisa here.
Right.
So that's what it takes. That's the real.
Curls.
Curls. Yeah.
Literally never.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you all so much. Want to leave you, so to bring it really full circle, train your body, feed your mind.
Oh man, we forgot the dad joke.
Oh, the dad joke! Do you have one?
No.
Do you have, oh man, do I have one? Nano's like, Dad, it's
She
time
has
to,
one.
It's time to be done. I have a really bad, this one's really bad.
All right.
This is really bad.
Should I just like take
You're
the
gonna
get ready to go?
You're gonna walk away as soon as I say this one, but let's drop it anyway. What is a sheep's favorite food? Was that a bee? Nice.
Just getting bold. Just trying to eat the bees.
Yeah.
Now. What is a sheep's?
You're gonna hate this so much.
I feel like I know where it's going, but I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know where.
A bologna sandwich. On that note, see you all next week.
Goodbye.